is only Shastriyam or scientific. Only on that basis I have started my practice after my retirement. My topic today to discuss is about the nature of miasms. What is nature of miasms? What to deal with, how to deal with it, how much it is essential, what nature plays here, or whether it is nature or it is miasms. Without miasms there is no nature, or with nature there is miasms. So miasms in nature or miasms of nature or nature of miasms. These three things will go side by side when we see this. We all know that the origin of disease, if we go for it, definitely if we have to talk about nature, if we have to talk about the origin of the disease, definitely we have to go how this disease has started in the beginning. It is very difficult to date back exactly when these diseases have come and how the diseases are going on. And now, in the beginning, usually you will find the origin and existence of this living being. There is always you will find three factors. One is origin, then existence, and afterwards death. These are the three factors they take a role in running this. In life cases, n number of problems, and these n number of problems to survive only. Whatever we are doing, it is for the survival sake. So all problems to solve, this is the thing we are adopting it. And life in ease, we are generally calling it as health. Life in discomfort is called as a disease. I mean, this is only general, and so far nobody has given correct definition about health, disease, and any of these things. Because all simple terms are very, very, very difficult to define. It is very difficult to define all the small and simple things. And in nature, so health is such factor. If anybody wants to talk about disease, or if anybody wants to talk about health, if anybody asks you to give definition about health, generally what happens, we try to give definition of health, WHO, we try to give definitions from our textbooks, whatever we have read. But we see still beyond that also there is something. That is the greatest of all simple things in nature. So, if you want to define, if you want to say which is good, unless you know about bad, you will not be able to define what good is. So, in the same way, unless there is something bad, something disease-like, you cannot name which one is health and which one is disease. So, to cause this disease, to cause this health, we all know that there is a dynamic force in our body, that is a vital force, and this vital force is maintaining it. So, equal to that, there should be some other disease factor that must be existing in our body, which is causing all these problems. So, that is nothing but the dynamic miasm, it was named, but this is the concept was first derived by the master Hahnemann. As I have mentioned here, he is the smartest, it is a smartest discovery of Master Hahnemann, because during those days, some of the things are there. Usually, when we ask about miasm till 17th century or till Dr. Hahnemann's days, you will find these are the definitions you will find in the abstract dictionaries and other dictionaries, like a noxious emanation or any putrefied bodies that are floating in the atmosphere when they attack the individual. And when you also will find the noxious or infectious matter. These are things usually they are all found in materialistic form. But if we go still deep into that, we will find more than that, miasm is a disease principle also. Just like the vital principle and life principle, you also will find in the same way, in the same line, in the same dynamic, unless the disease also is in the same plane, the disease cannot attack the body. That's why we say that this is nothing but a dynamic principle, disease principle. This is as good as the vital force and as bad as the vital force. So the vital force, to create any harm to the vital force, miasm is required. And to maintain health, the vital force. This is a constant fight between vital force and miasm throughout the life system. And that's why you will find DNA code and all these things, and they are all talking about it now. But originally speaking, this is our system, our homeopathic, Hahnemann, when he pursued it, he could not get better name than this miasm. If he had been an Indian, this is the most important thing we have to understand. If Hahnemann were Indian, he would have introduced it in a more beautiful way about the miasm concept. The miasm concept, he has just given the look like only though he talked about dynamic effects here and there in it. But some people, there was more controversies about miasms and miasm theories and all that. But without miasms, probably nothing exists. Nature does not exist. Nature has come from this miasms only. Miasm mapping in genome. How this is a map? Let us understand. You will find when you see the very universe, how these celestial bodies have formed, you will find, we understand, if you go to scientists, he will say, it was the Big Bang theory. And with the Big Bang theory, once upon a time, trillions of years ago, there was a Big Bang. Out of Big Bang, it exploded into various celestial bodies. All these celestial bodies have formed as this complete universe. And our Earth is also some particle of that. And if you go to even Indian philosophy, or when we talk about it, how this has come, we see that there was a cosmic energy, Mahashakti, we used to call. And from this Mahashakti evolved into Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is considered as the male gender, and Shakti, the female gender. Prakriti is considered as Stri, and Purusha is considered as the Lord. I mean, if you see, there is a sloka, you will find in Rigveda, you will find it in Nasadiya Sukta, 10th mandala, about the Srishti has been very well described. I mean, we all have to go, because we have to integrate our systems to all the systems, then only we will be able to come to a particular conclusion. If we do not do it only because of the things that are existing today, and it is not everything. Even the scientists or the philosophers, ultimately they talk about their goal is only one, that is truth. The truth, philosophers go in one way and scientists go in one way. But basically in the beginning, there was no science, there was no philosophy as such. Both were two. And when some pseudo ideas developed in their mind, it started dividing itself. When it started dividing, some philosophers, they are gone, they said that all materialistic point of view they started thinking about, and some people have started thinking about it in a dynamic sense. The dynamic people, those who have talked about only dynamics, they were called as philosophers, and they who saw only whatever these five senses they could get, then they considered it as the science. And exactly, this is not so. Even if you see Gita, in Gita, it is well mentioned in the 14th chapter about particularly Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. In Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, you will find Sarvayonishu Kaunteyaha Murtayaha Sambhavantiyaha Tasa Brahma Mahajoni Joni Aham bija pradaprada. In this he says, the Prakriti, the Stri, which gives the nature, and for that the man as a god, he gives the bija or the sperm. Because of this, the complete universe has started evolving itself. And there was another thing also, you will also find, for all these things, there are three important factors that lead. If at all in nature, you don't find anything which is not born. Or if anything is created, that will end also. Such things are there, and these things you will find in Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Guna. There are three gunas in Gita we understand. And you also will find there are three miasms in our organon or in our philosophy. We call them as psychosis, psoric, and syphilis. And in normal, there are two important things you have to remember. One is normal factor, another one is abnormal factor. If it is abnormal factor, you will find generation. Generation is every event that takes birth, that lives for some time, that will die. Take an example, thought. Your thought will come. Whatever thoughts you are getting, they come, they live for some time, they spend their time, their lifespan is there, and afterwards that vanishes off. And like this, whatever you don't find anything which does not have these three qualities. These three existence factors are there in every respect. You will find that psychosis, generation, and there is a God factor, we say it is normal. It is G-O-D. G means, we all know, G-O-D means, G stands for generation, O stands for operation, and S stands for D for dissolution. So these two things are called as one is psychosis. It stands for generation, creation. In the beginning, when Prakriti and Purusha they came, and then they have created three important persons you will come across. One is Brahma, another one is Vishnu, the third one is Shiva. They are called as God factor in Hindu philosophy. Means one generates, one operates, one dissolves. Dissolution, destruction. If you go to abnormal things, that's why creation. Creation means creation. He has got 3 heads or 4 heads. And these things, when these 3 heads are there, it is a sort of normal thing, and a normal creation is there. You will find normal growth of the cells. In your body also, all the cells, they come, they take time, they die. And in the same way, all things, whatever is there, they have that span of time. And if it goes abnormal, that proliferates. That proliferation is considered as a psychosis, that is abnormal psychosis. It's a normal psychosis and again abnormal psychosis. Abnormal psychosis is nothing but proliferation. It may be proliferation of thought, it may be proliferation of cell, it may be proliferation of anything. Whatever thing you take, whatever event you take, you will find within these 3 things, the abnormal or normal, when it may be proliferation or it may be only generation. And if you go to the second one, operation. If you say it's operation, Vishnu, he generally considered as the one who operates the systems of Prakriti or the complete nature. And whereas if you see the functional disturbance, whatever functional disturbance, in the same way, in our body also, you will find in the same way, normal functions are all taken care of by Vishnu, like a vital force. And these things, in case of Hindu philosophy, we are more deep in our concepts than the German Sora, syphilis, psychosis concepts. So we say Sattvika Guna. And in case of Brahma, we say Rajasika Guna. If we say Mahesh, it is considered as a Syphilitic Guna or Tamasa Guna. And you will find, if you see our Earth has got one plane surface. We also have got hills and we have also got wells. And these 3 things you will find. The plane surfaces are always, is nothing but normal generation or normal thing. You will find the soric manifestations. And only functional disturbance may be here and there. And you will find the psychotic, the multiplied cells. Proliferation of the earth is nothing but the hills and mountains. And if you see wells and whatever pits are there on the earth, they all go for the dissolution or destruction. And the cells, they go on degenerate themselves. They come under the third ulcerative conditions called as the syphilitic conditions. Ulceration,
last 5 minutes.
Yes. So if you see in the, if it is multiplied, if you proliferate it, like Ravana, it becomes again the psychotic. And if it becomes like Thomas excess, like Kumbhakana, and you will find Vipeshna as Satvik, which has got the normal nature of this thing. I mean, why I am telling, if this nature is understood, you can understand every symptom in your medicine. I mean, particularly I am talking to the students. Please go through in your practice of medicine or whatever patients you are taking, and all the symptoms you see, whether it is a proliferative type or it is a functional disturbance only, or it is a degenerative state. If these three things are there, then you will come to this is how the SORA, syphilis, psychosis, these three things are there. And regarding the symptoms and all that, you all know, and all the symptoms you can see and you can learn it also from your textbooks, how SORA behaves, how syphilis behaves. You will find the psoriatic patient, how he is and how he is fearful, how he has some pseudo-philosophy if it is a disease condition. And you will find how the psoriatic skins are there. And if you see syphilitic patient, how these fellows have fixed ideas and melancholic ideas and depression and ulcers. You will find mouth ulcers and all these things. They are nothing depressions. These depressions mean, that's why when you say the syphilis, these are negative forms. That's why if you understand only this particular thing, or whether it is thought, whether it is a structure, that will be in a depressive condition, and this destruction condition will be fine. That degeneration conditions are called as separative manifestations. And these ulcers, chancres and all these things, they are come. And if you go to psychosis is nothing but proliferation of thought. And you say that cunningness, you say that the fellow is very clever, and the cheating and deceiving mentality, all these things you will notice. And if you notice in the symptoms such things, and if you notice in the expressions, the face readings and physiognomy will help us to diagnose this. And the warts and all that, and these warts and tumors and these things. And these are particularly, you will find miasms are equivalent to in our thing. Miasms, Tridosha theory, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and Triguna theory, humors and temperaments and constitutions, whatever are mentioned here, they are all matched to SORA, syphilis, psychosis. If SORA is blue in color, RBG, if you remember, red for syphilis, B for SORA, and green for psychotic. And in the all temperaments you will find, it may be sanguine temperament, charismatic temperament, choleric temperament, or sattvic temperament, tamasic temperament, rajasic temperament, and all these things they come to various things. This is how you have to evaluate each and every case, and you will get all the symptoms within these three natures only, not beyond that. So prescribing medicines on miasmatic basis is more easier, and if you meditate, so by doing all these things, you will be able to diagnose the case also very well, and you can also treat the cases only seeing on symptom basis. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. We'll now go with our second speaker, the line, Dr. Surjit Singh Makka. Sir is clinician par excellence whose expertise has been in the field of homeopathy as veterinary cases. Sir is awardee of MF Home. The topic of today's presentation is